Hi everyone, welcome back to Cottoverdi. It is a gorgeous day here in South Buckinghamshire. It's Easter weekend, so here in the UK we have a long weekend. We have Friday and Monday off, and this is the time when everybody gets out into the garden if the weather holds. We're very lucky, it looks good, beautiful today and tomorrow, so we should get loads of gardening done. Today we're going to be pruning the eucalyptus hedge. It's looking a little bit sparse in the middle because this bush here in the centre is not doing very well, and we're also going to be felling, or trying to fell, 2 dead trees in the garden. It's time to take them out and maybe replace them with something else, or just decide what we're going to do, but they're dead, so they need to come out. Let's see how much fun we can have doing that. I've got loads of videos on my channel about how to pollard or coppice a eucalyptus hedge. So if you want really detailed information and you want to see the progress after a hedge has been pollarded or coppiced, and you want to see how it grows back, then do take a look at those older videos. They're on a playlist called Eucalyptus, and I'll link some down below that I think might be useful, so take a look at those. But I am going to show you what we're going to do over here today. So our eucalyptus hedge is situated here next to this gorgeous arch that we installed recently. I can link that video below too, actually, because it's a lot of fun. But this is a lovely arch from Harrod Horticultural that we really wanted, and I think it looks beautiful. And right next to it is the eucalyptus hedge with this bare space in the middle. So I'm going to talk you through what's going on here. So we planted 5 eucalyptus bushes. I'm going to try and point to them. We planted one here, one here, one here, here and here. But this one over here has always struggled. I'm not sure why. Right next to it we have a gorgeous deutzia. It's quite large, but it's a significant distance away. It's about 1 metre away. And right behind it is a mock orange or a triosia. But I don't think that should be affecting it too much. The triosia seems to be doing okay. So I don't know why this one has always struggled, but it's always pretty feeble. You can see the stems are much thinner. These were planted at exactly the same time. So we have coppiced this one right down to the ground before, and although it's looking healthier, we can't pollard it yet because the stems aren't thick enough. So the trunks need to be a lot thicker before you can pollard it. This one over here has grown back fairly well, but there are some dead trunks in the centre that we need to chop out. This one is gorgeous, growing really well, really tall. This one with the super thick trunk here is also doing really well, but we do need to chop off the tops of these. And then this one in the middle, these were all hit really hard, by the way, by frost one year. So this one in the centre has not bounced back. So you can see where we pollarded the trunks up here last year, and these are all dead, so they haven't reshooted, but there is one tiny stem just here that has regrown, and so we're going to save that and take out the dead trunks. So this spot here is where we pollarded the tree one year, and then let me get in the bed and show you. This is where we cut it back last year. Nice, there's a snail on there. This is where we cut it back last year, and you can see there's a lot of new growth that has grown from that, and we also cut it here. So these 2 trunks were chopped last year, and in fact I'm looking to see whether this one I think can come out, because this hasn't grown, it hasn't got any new shoots on it, so we'll take this one out today. And then this is another trunk that we chopped back last year to here, to right there. And this is all new growth from it. But then this one next to it, these we chopped back last year, and I think possibly they were too thin, but they were hit really hard by the frosts. So we had to cut them back. They have not grown back. However, from the base here, this particular stem is regrowing. Let me see if I can. So this stem is regrowing, so it's not dead, and we're going to just have to preserve this one here, and we'll take out these 2 trunks, which does mean we're going to have a big hole in the middle of our hedge, which is very unfortunate. But it should grow back fairly quickly. And then this one on the end that was hit the hardest by the frost, what has happened is the two trunks where we pollarded the tree, these haven't grown back at all, but there's been quite a lot of really strong growth from the base of the plant. So these two actually look dead, and we're going to take these two bits out because we don't need those anymore, and then we'll just let these grow over the years. Chopping this one, these are all dead. I know, that's the one I'm trying to save. Yeah, you're going to have to saw that one.
Saw this one?
Saw that one and this one here. This one here, this has got to come out. This back one, this one. National Eucalyptus Day is March the 18th, same day every year, and that is an indicator of when it's okay to start pruning your eucalyptus tree. This is a good time to pollard it or coppice it if that's what you need to do. And so any time in this period after March the 18th is a good time to do it. So what I'm going to do now we've taken out all the dead wood is and you could do that at any time, taking out dead wood. So what I'm going to do now is prune the tree. Now these bushes, each individual bush, that's the ones that are still alive, they're too tall and I need to cut them back because otherwise they're just going to get really whippy, and we don't want a really tall tree here. I want to keep the height at a particular hedge height. It's about the same height as me actually, about 5'6". What is that, 165 meters, 1.65 meters. And so I like to keep them at sort of that height because I think it's a really comfortable height for a hedge. And so I'm just going to cut back the top growth here. So because the bed is a little bit lower than the patio, I'm going to cut a little bit higher up. And I'm not going to cut anything that's really thin. If it's thinner than a pencil, I'm going to leave that. So I'm only going to tackle branches that are thicker than a pencil, and I'm just going to take them off slightly above my head height and chuck them that side. This one's about the thickness, just slightly bigger than a pencil, so I will cut this one back. What I'll do is cut it back a bit lower where it's thicker. And then the other thing I do is I tend to clear the stems a little bit so that whatever we have planted at the bottom has room to grow. and isn't too shaded. In fact, what I'm going to do is keep some of these cuttings because they smell so good, and it's just really nice to bring them indoors, put them in a vase for a few weeks. You could hang them up to dry if you want, or another nice thing to do is to hang them in the shower because that will make your showers smell wonderful. So this is how the eucalyptus hedge is looking now. It has got a big gap in the middle, but there is one shoot here, and I'm pinning all my hopes on that shoot. And as I said, I will plant something slightly larger in this spot just to create a bit of a hedge for this year, but it'll be an annual of some description or a tall dahlia. And actually I think a tall dahlia, something like Great Silence, would look wonderful here, a lovely splash of colour. But everything is pretty much my height when I'm standing on the patio. So that's kind of where I've cut it to, and it forms a really nice hedge. And obviously this is going to grow throughout the summer and it will bush out more, and that is what I've done. And then what I have got is loads of lovely foliage that I can bring indoors, and we can have the aroma for a few weeks. So we're down here next to the grass border where we've got some gorgeous silver birch. These two are fine, and this one is alive still, but this one over here in the corner, this one is dead. Definitely dead. We left it last year just in case it regrew, but it didn't regrow. It in fact lost more branches. So we're going to chop this one down today, hopefully dig out the root ball, and then we can plant something else in this corner because we definitely do need a tree here. I may put another evergreen there because I'm really fond of conifers and there are so many beautiful varieties. So perhaps we'll turn that one into a spot for conifers. We did kind of want it to be sort of a silver birch woodland area, but it hasn't worked out that way for us, which is fine. But anyway, this one's coming out today. Let's have some fun. So this spot here is where we have another dead tree. It has been dead since we moved in about 10 years ago. And I think initially we thought, oh, it might come back to life. It's a laburnum, which is one of those trees with gorgeous dangly yellow flowers. But there were two. So this one we had taken out by our builders, and we kind of thought this one might hobble along, but actually it's completely dead and it's now leaning up against the wall and we have to take it out. This is the brick arch where I've been doing quite a lot of planting. But this tree has got to come out. It may just be a process, it's so dead now, of us yanking at it, or we may have to saw it down. So it has lots of wires around it where it's been tied together in the past. The whole tree's moving. It could be good stumpery. That area could actually be quite a good stumpery. There's a really big tree up here that does provide shade throughout the day in this area of the garden, obviously along with that wall. I guess we're not having a stumpery after all, because the whole thing came out. I mean, it was seriously rotten. I don't know why it's taken us so long to do that job. Years and years it's taken us to do that job, but it's done now. So that's 2 dead trees down and the eucalyptus hedge has been pruned, and I call that a successful day of tree felling. We could be lumberjacks. Anyway, I really hope you found this video fun and useful and interesting. If you liked it, please do hit the like button. It really does help me. And subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more fun videos like this in the future. We'll be full of garden inspiration over the coming seasons. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.